Hi everyone, Martin here from martinsmayhem.co.uk. I hope you're all well. Today we're going to be creating this slimline card that you see here. A little sun we got it. It's super quick and easy, and I think the effect is really fun. So let's get started. We are using the Paradise Palms stamp set, as well as the coordinating dies, which I've just found them on page 172 of the annual catalogue for £172, but it is still available currently as a bundle while the mini catalogue is around, so make sure you check that out. So let's put the stamp set to one side, pop this in the top corner. Cardstock wise, you're going to need 3 different things. You're going to need some thick basic white, basic black, and some shimmer paper. So I don't know if you can see the little shimmer, you can there. But this is slightly waterproof as well, which is fab, and we're going to do some watercolouring onto it, so you're going to use this quite a bit. So let's start with our basic white. Let's bring in our trimmer. So to make the card base, open up the arm. I'm going to cut it at 18 centimetres. Says. And then same piece, I'm going to score at 9. So that makes our card base. Bring our bone folder in. He says, trying to keep it on camera. There we go. So that's your long line card base, and then the leftover piece of basic white, just bring it in your trimmer, cut that down to 8 centimetres. And I'm just gonna take off centimetre at the end, so I believe that's 20 centimetres, he says. Yeah, 20 centimetres, so 8 centimetres by 20, and that just gives us a nice ½ centimetre border all the way around. Alright, so with our matte layer, we're going to start with a little bit of ink blending. So one of our new ink colours is Tranquil, it's not Tranquil Tide, I can't pronounce it, Tahitian Tide. Oh, and I'm going to use one of our blending brushes. Now, the centre of it, I'm just going to tap down. It's going to be hidden anyway. And then I'm going to ink blend out from there. We are going to be using one of our layering circles. So I'm going to be using the biggest one available, so you can always use this as a guide so you can see how far you need to come out. I'm always going to tap in the middle, get off that excess ink, so I get a nice smooth blend for where I want it. You come out a lot more. Now I think that's far enough, but I'm just gonna keep working it on either side just to smooth out that blend, like so, and then that's gonna sit in the middle and covering that nasty bit. Easy. With the matte layer as well, you're going to grab your stamping blend in basic black. Using the dark, I'm just going to move the example out of the way and just flick it against the lid. To create a little splatter. Now for some reason this has gone a little bit too thin, but you can always work back in and just add some bigger splatters by using the ballpoint end and just press it on one and let it sit there. And if you wanted to create one like an actual split, just hold and flick it out. Hold, flick out. Another little bit. So that'll do, because I'm wasting time. So that's our matte layer done. Put that to one side, bring back our example. He says he can no longer see. There we go. So with our shimmering paper, it does resist water to a certain amount. So I've just got a bowl of water, I've got my brush, my wide tip brush water marker, and now the reason why I'm using actual water is just purely because for me I have more control, and we're going to be using Parakeet Party, Daffodil Delight, as well as that blue, which I can't pronounce, I've been tired, and we're just gonna work on certain elements. So this large circular piece is what we used to cut out our circle die, but it's just a matter of picking up the ink, laying it down so you have enough down there, and keep working over it. Now this is quite wet, so, and that's big enough, so that's fine. But as it's quite wet, I don't want to add any more water, I just want to add more colour. So for the Daffodil Delight, I have just got a re-inker, and I'm just going to do a little splodge there. Try to get off some excess water, pick up that ink and drop it down. Now you could always just die cut cardstock, but because I want that variant of colour from one edge to another, that's why I'm choosing to do it this way. So let that one dry and clean off your brush. He says, the Parakeet Party, again for the sentiment, is also done in this, and the reason why I did that was to do the wash, to kind of get that gradient. There you saw me just pinch the ink pad down, and pick up the ink, and let's just do a bit here. So that piece is very dark. Let's try to, I don't think I'm going to be able to blend that in, so let's make it slightly bigger. And then I need to have plenty to choose from. And then finally, blue. Sure, my brush is clean. This one is going to be used for the one of the dies that coordinates within the set, which is here. So it's super delicate. You don't need a full strip, so I think this is only 5 long. So I'm just gonna pick up some ink and do a line across, slightly bigger than you need, of course, just so it's covered. Let's just add a little bit more colour. in. Like so. Such a simple way as well if you don't have the cardstock to kind of create your own, but its colours are looking a little bit flat, but it happens. I'm going to heat this with my heat tool. He says, just about to knock something off. Desk. And something else. So once it's dry, and you want to make sure it is dry because we're going to be stamping and die cutting, you can just carry on. So let's bring it in my cut and emboss machine. Put this down. See if we can get this all on one plate. He says. So your sandwich is going to be 1, 2 and 3. Then you're going to put your card on, then your dies going downwards. Where's that long strip? So I'm going to pop that. So I really like this watermark edge here where the colours change. So I'm going to position that over there. Like so. That die's fine to hang off. Finish the sandwich with another plate. Run that through. Pop these out. So we have our yellow strip, we have our blue strip. While we have the stamping cutting emboss machine, we might as well cut out our palm trees. So that piece of basic black we had, we are going to die cut our palm trees out of. So you're going to need 2. Now I don't need it to be full length, so I'm just going to position it there and run that through. There's one. Peel that up. Pop him out. There again. Put that in the bin. You can do it the other way, just to try to mitigate the waste as much as possible. Pop that back through. And pop that one out. Bend that a little bit. So, and that is your die cutting done. So, let's start assembling. We have centerpiece here, which are just going to pop some dimensionals on the back. Now, because mine's quite bendy, I'm gonna put a little bit more on than needs be. If if you've got time to spare, what I would suggest is sticking this under a book or something just to flatten out, or run it through your cutting emboss machine a couple of times just with clean plate, so then it's not getting marked at all from the previous cut lines. Oh, that one. And pop that in at the centre, he says, like so. Now, the trees, let's try and get these little bits out. Where's my pokey tool? I'll take a pick tool with the pokey end. Let's just try and pop these little bits out. Can we just have a second to appreciate how great the take a pick tool is? Fabulous. He says, popping them out. Okay, so there's one. Second one is here. Just get these bits out. Now, the take a pick tool does have the adapter available, so you can run this over a little pad with a little wire brush, and it pops all these bits out for you. However, I didn't think ahead, I'll be honest. Pop these in like so. Okay, and then one of them you're gonna rotate the other way around. So if you've got a quite battered cutting plates like I do, the best thing to do is just grab your bone folder, run over the back very delicately, just to smooth out any elements which might be sticking up or might have some texture, and then it's just a matter of popping that onto the card like so. So I did these with dimensionals. I did mini dimensionals, he says. So let's flip these round. I think one fits in the middle like so, and it does. And then what I like to do is cut strips down the edge of the dimensionals, and then I can just cut off little bits here and here, save the rest for later. And these can go onto, I was going to say the stalky bits, but it's the trunk part of the trees. And that's going to be thin enough to hold it. And then this one, again, stick that bit on the trunky bit, and just unpick it. Turn it round, pop it into place, take the backs off, turn it round. Now, I just want to rearrange you a little bit, he says. There we go. Position that one there. So pop that one there. Okay, I'm happy, that's fine. Although my desk is a mess. So now, like I said, I'll need 5 little of these pieces so I can cut it off there. And just gonna follow the line. Now, I'm not too bothered about the different elements within this. If they stay in, they stay in. If not, happy days. But that's going to sit over that like so. But we need to stamp our sentiment. So bringing in that piece of shimmery white, I'm going to stamp the sentiment onto here. Where's my embossing buddy? I am happy to announce you might be seeing an embossing buddy coming in back soon with Stampin' Up. The sentiment I chose is hope you find a little paradise wherever you may be. I've got some Versamark ink. I'll stamp up my sentiment like so. Now, where do I go with this? So I'm going to use that top part there, and I can just position my sentiment like so, stamp it down, get some white embossing powder, sprinkle that over. Now, if this was still wet, it would be stuck everywhere. And I didn't stamp it very well. It's got a little line here. But that's stamped. I'm going to heat that up. And then I'm just going to cut that down into a little banner shape. Bringing in my trimmer. Now, I'm going to line the top of the sentiment. Let's cut this down, because I don't need all that excess in place. So I'm going to line the top of the Hope You with the inner part of this, of the runner blade. When that's straight, I know I've got one straight line. So it doesn't matter how straight or how wonky your sentiment is, because you can always get one straight line, and then from there you can work in cutting it down like so. Says can't move that. Move it over slightly. Put that down, and then I can just trim it off, leaving a little extra at the bottom. And now I know that is perfectly square, or as square as I can possibly get it. To create the banner, I'm just going to cut upwards and then meet that from either end, like so. And now it's just a matter of sticking a dimensional either side on here. Then we're going to position that over the top of our decorative die cut, and stick another dimensional or two over the top of the old ones, like so, and popping that, he says, in place. Give it a little tap, and then this goes on to really push that down. Popping this onto our card base, again with dimensionals. I know I use a lot of dimension, but the higher the card, the closer to God, as they say. Pop the dimensionals off the back. flip it round, line it up in the centre, and then all that's left to do is cut the tails off of the palm trees. So I do this by lining the bottom blade of my scissors up with the card base and cutting down, lining it up, cutting down. And there you have today's project. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can get a closer look at today's cards. Now, all the products to create these projects are available on my Stampin' Up online store, so make sure you head over to martinsmayhem.co.uk in order to find the supply list so you can recreate this card yourself. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the description bar or in the comment section below even, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you don't even like it. See you later, bye.